Okay, so we are going to start lying down. And have your legs wherever they feel comfortable. Bring your hands onto your lower belly with your thumbs touching each other just below your belly button and your index fingers touching as well, so they make a diamond shape that rests on your lower abdomen. And as you start to settle in here, settling into this space of your practice for the next 90 minutes, take your awareness and your breath to that space underneath your hands. So you're breathing into your hands. And we're going to explore today the fifth yama. We've been going through the yamas, the yoga principles. Today we'll explore the fifth one of aparigraha, which means non-grasping. So it's about not clinging onto things that have run their course, not setting conditions on life that we require it to be a certain way in order for us to feel content or satisfied. And the sutra itself says, when the seeker does not grasp, a deep understanding of life unfolds. When the seeker does not grasp, a deep understanding of life unfolds. So it's all about flowing with what's presented to us, not seeking to control it. And control is different from discipline. Control, the roots of the word actually mean against the flow. Discipline is showing up, doing what's right for you, what's going to move you forward. Control implies going against the flow. In this sense, at any rate. And so it's about flowing with life and liberating ourselves from the suffering that comes with trying to cling on to things being a certain way. Can we dare to release, or at least relax, that desire for control a little? Can we dance with life the way it is? And this flowing, dancing with life energy is all about the sacral chakra, which is what you have your hands above now. The chakra that informs fluidity and creativity, sensuality, inspiration, having a certain degree of spontaneity and this willingness to dance with what life has to hand us. So as you breathe into this area under your hands, you might like to envisage energy in that space. The associated color is orange. You might like to picture an orange glow under your hands there. That with each inhale grows a little stronger, a little more vibrant. If you have an intention that you're working with, you could call that to your awareness now. Or you might like the intention, I dance with what comes, I release what goes. I dance with what comes, I release what goes. Let's take a few more breaths here. And release your hands onto the mat alongside your body, palms facing down. And bend your knees so that your feet are flat on your mat, hip distance apart. And we're going to begin with some pelvic tilts, just starting to enliven the area around the sacrum, around the sacral chakra. So as you inhale, tilt your hip bones away from you so that the arch in your back gets greater. So you're creating space in your belly. And as you exhale, draw your pubic bone towards your ribs. So you're making that space smaller as you exhale. Inhale, tilt away. Exhale, tilt up. Keep moving like that in your own breath, your own rhythm. How smooth and slow can you make that breath and that movement? And the next time you exhale, going to start to take it a little further and come into a little baby bridge. So you continue that peeling up of the tailbone and lift the sacrum and your lower back from the mat, going into a little bridge. And then as you inhale, peel yourself back down and tilt the pelvis away from you. Exhale, tilt up, lift up. Inhale, peel down, tilt away. And keep moving like that in your own breath. And see if you can get every vertebra to touch the mat as you peel up and down. Let's take 3 more rounds. At the end of that 3rd round, hug your knees into your chest, give yourself a big squeeze, a big hug. Maybe little rocking movements side to side, up and down, massaging into your back. Exploring where feels good, where needs a little bit of that massage nourishment. If you take your knees further away from you, it goes more into your lower back. Knees further in, comes more into your upper back. And then make your own way up to sitting. You might roll over to one side, you might rock and roll up and down. Let's find a cross-legged position. We won't be here for very long, but please feel free to sit on a folded blanket or a block if you like. And then as we exhale, I'm going to take hands onto kneecaps and curl back. So the belly button moves back, chin drops towards chest, pubic bone lifts towards ribs. And then we're going to take those big circling movements. Inhale, chest out to your left knee, round to the front. And exhale to the right and coming back. Moving around in these big circles. Like a big spoon stirring porridge. Close your eyes. Take all of your looking inwards. What do you discover? Next time you find yourself at the back, let's reverse it. Take it the other direction. Finding that fluidity of motion, easing out any kinks. This is definitely on my list of things to do every day, just to say hello to your body. One more. And then come to stillness. Sit tall and observe. Any sensations in your hips, lower back, middle back? Maybe in your lower belly? Any sensations beyond what you might describe as the purely physical? Any slight vibratory feeling, any slight tingling or sense of aliveness? And then in your own time, blink your eyes open. And we'll move on to all fours. And as we're going to be doing lots of rotating, flowing movements, no surprise to find, let's move into that wiggling, spiraling, exploring movements. Moving your chest around, hips around, head and neck and shoulders. Let it be a playful exploration. I'm going to be moving a lot with this fluid kind of energy today. And as always, modify any way that feels appropriate for your body. Listen to what she needs. And slow it down. Come to stillness. Tuck your toes under and walk your hands back towards your knees. Press yourself onto your feet, folding over bent legs. Cup your hands around your elbows and dangle. Let your head be heavy. And explore how you'd like to move here. Do you sway? A little nods, yes and no, of your head. Stay in your space. Don't let any externals just be part of the life moving around you. And then start to walk your hands forward and step one foot forward. Doesn't matter which one. And bend into that forward leg and pivot around so you're facing the long edge of your mat. I'm going to come into that Skandasana movement where we inhale, walk the hands through center, and exhale, bend into the other leg. Inhale up through center. Exhale down. Moving with your own breath through Skandasana. You can keep the foot of the extended leg flat on the mat, or you can come up onto the heel with your toes pointing to the sky. One more each side. And then the next time you come through center, find a deep bend in both knees and bring your hands onto your lower thighs. So your thumbs are pointing inward, fingers behind. Press your knees gently back and drop down deeply into your hips and sink into your shoulders. Like actually let your shoulders come up around your ears for once. And then as we exhale, dip one shoulder towards the center, other elbow bends. Inhale, up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down, moving in your own breath. And then let's come to center. Release your hands. Take your arms out wide and bring your thumb and ring fingers together. Take arms wide. Sit into that seat of power, that goddess energy. Picture that orange glow at the base of your spine. With every inhale, it's like you're drawing it up, all the way up your spine. With each exhale, let's open our mouths and breathe it out. Releasing anything that's keeping us stuck. Take 2 more breaths. Drawing energy up. And then release your arms. Start to straighten your legs and toe heel feet in so that you're just a little wider than hip distance. And then we're just going to sway. Keep soft knees. Just going to sway from the waist up and let your arms swing. Let your head get involved. How far can you see behind you? Can your eyeballs get involved? Gradually start to slow it down. And come to stillness. And then we're going to toe heel, feet out wide again. Going to come back through Goddess on our way back down. A little different this time. Take your arms out wide-ish. Imagine you're holding like a big beach ball of energy. It's this orange glowing energy of creativity and fluidity. I'm just going to start to play with it. Maybe yours moves forward or up. You could close your eyes if you feel steady, or soften your gaze and move it around. Maybe it moves around your head. Maybe it comes down to the floor. Maybe it gets bigger. This energy of flowing with whatever is presented with us. Finding movement and stability in the same place. Beautiful. And now let's start to take that ball of energy lower, down towards the ground, until fingertips land. And let's come back into Skandasana, ring side to side, bending into one knee and extending the other. Inhaling up, exhaling across. Like some sort of stealthy forest creature. Dancing and exploring. And then walk your hand back around to the front of your mat. And step back to all fours. And let's wiggle again. I have to find a better name for this posture than wiggly cat, which is what I always cue it as in my notes. Let's take about 30 more seconds exploring. If your head hasn't been involved yet, maybe start to move that around too. And slowly come back to stillness. And take your hips back, come to child's pose. Let's take a few breaths in there. Allowing that energy that we've stirred up to integrate. And feel how your breath moves into the back of your body here. Can you detect an expanding across that area of your sacrum, across your lower back as you inhale deeply? On your next inhale, rise up to all fours. Tuck your toes. And we'll make our way into downward dog. Bend in your knees at first. And again, explore movement. Walk your dog. Maybe sway hips side to side. What's needed? And then come high onto the balls of your feet and drop both of your heels over to the right. And high onto the balls of your feet and over to the left. One more either side like that. And then come back to your dog in the center and walk your feet in about a foot length. So you're in a shorter dog, and reach your right arm back to take hold of the outside of your left leg, or maybe your heel or the side of your foot. Just wherever you can reach. And then use gentle pulling on that right arm to spiral your chest underneath your left armpit. Release that hand back to its start place. And then we'll take it to the other side. Left hand reaches for outer, right leg, heel, foot, whatever is available. And then gently pull on that to bring your chest underneath your right armpit. Release that. Come back into your regular length downward dog. So move your feet a little bit further back. And we'll start to flow. On an inhale, take your right leg high. And exhale slowly, as if you're moving through treacle rather than just flinging it through. Step it through to your hands. Drop your left knee down. And inhale. Come up to kneel. Back knee. Find a little lift of your pelvis. And then keeping that lift, soften your hips forward. Anjaneyasana. We'll take a few breaths here. Might find a little movement in and out. A little pulsing into the depth of the lunge. Maybe same thing happens in your arms as you explore a little back bend. And then exhale, bring your hands down, frame your foot. And take your hips back over your left knee, walk your hands back, coming to half Hanumanasana, to stretching out that right hamstring. Soften your elbows to take you deeper into it. Or you can take your hands onto fingertips to be a little higher up. Slowly walk your hands forward now. Tuck your back toes, lift the knee, and step back to plank. And come all the way down to the mat, either via knees or down through chaturanga. Exhaling all the way down. Point the toes and inhale, drag your mat back towards your feet. Elbows hug the waist as you peel up, low cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, all fours. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts high. And exhale, knee into chest, moving through treacle as you slowly step it forwards. Drop back knee to the mat. Inhale, reach up. Find that lift of the pelvis. And exhale, soften forwards. Maybe there's a little pulsing in and out with your breath as you explore into that hip flexor. Maybe reaching arms a little further back as you explore your back arch. Exhale, hands to the mat. And draw your hips back over your right knee. Coming down into that half split. Walk your hands forward. Tuck back toes. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, lower down either via knees or all the way. Cobra or upward dog. Inhale. Exhale down. And back to downward facing dog. Let's take a few breaths here. Always having the option to drop to child's pose for a few breaths, particularly if there's any pressure in wrists. And then meeting back in downward dog. Sweep your right leg high. And exhale, step it through. Put a bend in your back knee, stay on the ball of the foot this time. And inhale, sweep your arms up, crescent lunge. And keeping that lift of the pelvis. Maybe the back leg starts to straighten a little. Maybe you sink a little deeper into that front knee. Just make sure that you can see your foot beyond your knee. So Jenny, perhaps just wriggle your front foot forwards a little bit there. That's going to help protect your knee. Yeah. So when we've got the back knee on the ground, it's fine to have the front knee forward of the foot. But when we've got all of our weight in that front leg, we need to make sure that we can see the toes beyond it. Last inhale here. And then exhale, bring your left hand to the mat. Right arm stays reaching up. Come into that twist. Reach top arm up, maybe lean it back. You can always have a block underneath that left hand. Smooth, even breathing. Where's your breath? Where's your mind? One more here. And then exhale. Bring your right hand back to the mat. I'm going to sweep that right leg high again. Inhale. And then bend the knee, open the hip. And you can always drop to your left knee here as well. Take a little bit of pressure out of the wrists if you like. Square your hips off. And bring that right knee onto the mat about halfway along, so it's underneath your hip. And spin your back heel to the mat. And reach that left arm up to the sky. So coming into a modified side plank. You can reach that top arm alongside your ear. If balance is tricky, you can spin your right shin behind you, so you've got a little bit more of a kickstand. Arch that left side of your rib cage up towards the sky. One more breath here. And then exhale, left hand to the mat. And step that right knee back to plank and either flow, dog, or child's pose. Moments of settling, moments of integrating before we flow again. Next inhale, rise back up to all fours and press back to downward dog. And we'll take the other side. Left leg lifts high. Inhale. Exhale, slowly step it through. Bend in the back knee. And inhale, sweep up, crescent lunge. Maybe start to straighten the back leg a little. Maybe start to sink a little deeper into the lunge. One more breath here. And then exhale, right hand to the mat. Left hand stays reaching up, and peel your chest open to the left. Maybe lean back. Feeling the full expanse of your breath. Exhale, hand back to the mat. And inhale, let's take that left leg all the way back and through, coming into three-legged dog again. And bend your knee, open up that hip. Inhale, square your hips off, extend the leg. And exhale, bring that left knee halfway along the mat. And pivot to the heel of your back foot. Inhale and sweep your right arm up to the sky. Option to pivot that left shin around behind you a little bit for more stability. And again, lean it back. Maybe take that top arm alongside your ear, pressing your right ribs to the sky, opening up all that beautiful side seam of our bodies that can get a bit neglected in daily life. And then exhale, right hand back to the mat. Bring your right knee to the mat. And let's take it back to child's pose. Deep inhale through your nostrils. And sigh it out through your mouth. Every exhale is a release. Every breath, an opportunity to begin to loosen our grip on something. Maybe it's a tightness in our bodies. Maybe it's a contraction in our minds, a repetitive thought or a fixed way of thinking. Every exhale invites us to loosen the grip slightly. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And after your 3rd breath, slowly start to walk your hands back in. Tuck your toes, take your feet a bit wider, and we're going to roll back into a squat, into Malasana. There are lots of options here. You can take a folded blanket underneath your heels if they don't comfortably reach the ground. You can sit your bottom on a bolster, or even a bolster and a block, so you bring the floor up to meet you wherever you are. And then you have the choice of whatever feels right for your energy and your body. You might choose to flex your spine and curl forwards with your chin towards your chest. It's very inward looking, introspective version. Or you might choose to have your hands at your heart center in prayer position and press out into your thighs with your upper arms. Wherever you are, let there be a sense of weightiness in your pelvis, a sense of descending, releasing. Close your eyes down. Gaze inwards. There'll be plenty of things that most of us are glad to see the back of from 2020. But on a more personal level, is there something you're ready to start loosening your grip on? And the seeker does not grasp, all of life unfolds. Start to release your hands to the mat in front of you and bring yourself back onto all fours. And make your way all the way onto your belly. And we'll come into Sphinx pose for a little counter pose for the Malasana squat. Bring your elbows slightly forward of your shoulders. Feet a little wider than hip distance, particularly if there's any pressure in your lower back. A slight tilt forward of your pubic bone into the mat so that your lower belly lifts away from the mat slightly. And then make as if to drag your forearms back towards your feet, but you don't actually move them. And as a result, your chest lifts through your forearms. Gaze is straight ahead. You might close your eyes down. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then slowly lower your chest down. Fold your hands to make a pillow for your forehead. Or maybe you prefer to have your head on the mat. You can rest on your forehead or turn your head to one side. We'll stay here for a couple of minutes. I'll let you know when we're halfway if you've turned your head. Feel your breath against the mat in your lower belly, in that region of the sacral chakra, Svadhisthana. This energy of moving with life, expressing ourselves, enjoying the sensual pleasures of life, the way of all of our senses. Lying here, if you run through each of your senses, what do you hear? What do you see? Is there any light or shapes behind your closed eyelids? What do you feel in your skin? Do you smell anything? Do you taste anything? Senses are our bridge to the outer world. You've turned your head one way, take it to the other side. This energy is all about embracing all that life has to offer, and the knowledge that it's all there for us, like a great banquet, and there is no problem in enjoying all of it. It's only when we start to grasp, when we start to attach to things and cling to things, that we cause ourselves suffering. Can we simply enjoy this great banquet of life? Dance with what comes and release what goes. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then inhale. And press yourself to all fours after your 3rd breath when you're ready. And have your blanket handy, or your block. We're going to come into pigeon. So I'm going to slide right knee towards right wrist. And then tuck your back toes and walk your back knee back. If your hips are feeling quite tight, you can keep your heel close into your groin so that your knee is closed joint and protected. And you can bring a prop around for that right side of your buttock. If you've got a little more movement and it doesn't create any pressure in your hips, you can start to wriggle that right foot a little more forwards. If you're bringing it forwards, flex that foot. That's going to help protect the knee. And then soften down maybe to forearms, maybe forearms on your bolster. Be very mindful of the knee here. If there's any pressure at all, keep your foot towards your groin so that the knee joint stays closed and can't twist. And we'll stay here for a couple of minutes on each side. Three more breaths on this side. And then slowly start to pad your hands back in. Tuck your back toes and wriggle your way back to all fours. And take it to the other side. Left knee slides up towards left wrist. Tuck your back toes and walk that right knee back. Take some proppage underneath your left thigh. That helps. And then soften down. Maybe forearms on bolster. Can we let go of the way we think life should unfold? The holding of plans or dreams or expectations. Can we save our strength to swim with the tide? To flow with the grace that washes through our days. To flow with the wave's crest and let it carry us to unknown shores, beyond our wildest dreams or destinations. Can we flow with it and find a place of rest and peace within ourselves and certain transformation? Three more breaths here. At the end of that third breath, slowly pad your way back in. Tuck your back toes under so that you can wriggle that foot forwards. And come over, swing your hips to one side so you come to sit. And for our final posture before we move into meditation, have a menu. You can either lie yourself back, maybe on a bolster or blanket, soles of your feet together, knees apart, Supta Baddha Konasana. You might like to take your hands onto your lower belly if that's your preferred option. Or take your bolster and set yourself up for a supported bridge. Bolster underneath the back of your pelvis. So supported bridge or Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees apart. We'll be here for 5 minutes. So choose an option that feels nourishing, feels like a treat. In Supta Baddha Konasana, of course, you can take props underneath the outside of your legs, a little more support. And if it feels good for the first few minutes and then you change your mind, you can change your position. Can we dance with what comes and release what goes? We have come to be danced. Not the pretty dance, not the pretty pick me dance, but the claw our way back into the belly of the sacred sensual animal dance. The unhinged, unplugged, cat is out of its box dance. The holding the precious moment in the palms of our hands and feet dance. We've come to be danced. Not the jiffy booby shake your booty for him dance, but the wring the sadness from our skin dance. The blow the chip off our shoulder dance. The slap the apology from our posture dance. We've come to be danced. Not the monkey see, monkey do dance, 1, 2, dance like you, 1, 2, 3, dance like me dance, but the grave robber, tomb stalker, tearing scabs and scars open dance. The rub, the rhythm roar against our soul dance. We have come to be danced, not the nice, invisible, self-conscious shuffle, but the matted hair flying, voodoo mama, shaman shaking, ancient bones dance. The strip us from our casings, return our wings, sharpen our claws and tongues dance. The shed dead skin cells and slip into the luminous skin of love dance. We've come to be danced, not the hold our breath and wallow in the shallow end of the floor dance, but the meeting of the Trinity, the body, breath, and beat dance. The shout hallelujah from the top of our thighs dance. The mother may I? Yes, you may take 10 giant leaps dance. The ollie ollie oxen free dance. The everyone can come to our heaven dance. We have come to be danced where the kingdoms collide in the cathedral of flesh, to burn back into the light, to unravel, to play, to fly, to pray, to root in skin sanctuary. We have come to be danced. So in a moment, we'll move into pranayama. If your energy calls for it, please feel free to stay reclining. You may choose to lie for pranayama and sit up for meditation, and then lie back down for Savasana. We're going to be working with bringing the pelvic floor into breath. So it's a very practical one to do lying down or sitting up, whichever you prefer. And make your way into whatever position you'll choose for the next 5 minutes or so. We'll begin simply by observing the flow of breath. Hopefully now quite long and smooth after your practice. Can you invite your inhale and exhale to be of equal length? You might simply sense it, or you might choose to count. And with that equal fluctuation, samavriti breath established, let's shape the way that that breath fills our bodies now. So I'm going to inhale top to bottom and exhale bottom to top. So as we inhale, we're going to feel first the chest expand, then the ribs, then the belly, then the pelvic floor softens and moves down, relaxes. So you're making space in this whole container. And then as you exhale, pelvic floor draws up, belly draws in, ribs draw in, chest draws in. Inhale, chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor expand. Exhale, pelvic floor draws up, belly, ribs, chest contract. Continue in your own rhythm and length of breath. 3 more rounds of this breath. And let your breath return to its instinctive rate. After that little bit of pelvic floor work, let's just pump the pelvic floor rapidly 10 times. Squeeze and release. And from here, we will move into the formal meditation part of the practice. If you prefer to stay lying down, of course, that's an option. We will have time for a good Savasana as well. And if you choose to sit up, you might be astride a bolster, you might be cross-legged, you might lean against a wall with your legs outstretched. You might sit on a chair. Take your awareness to where your body meets whatever you're sitting on. Have an awareness of the physical shape that your body is making, sensing from the inside out with your eyes closed. Feel where your hands are resting on your legs, from your lap. Feel where your clothes touch your skin. Feel where the air touches your exposed skin. Invite your awareness to be an expanded thing, so that you are listening without concentrating, simply an open awareness to all of the sounds around you, in the distance, in the room, in your own body. No need to concentrate on any one of them. Simply allowing them all to be. You in the center of it all, still, steady, aware, simply witnessing. You may choose to remain in seated meditation, or if you feel called now to take Savasana, slowly lower your chin towards your chest. And with as little disturbance to yourself as possible, make your way down to lie on your back with whatever props you like to make yourself really comfortable. Scan your body from the tips of your toes, your legs, pelvis, your back, seeking out any little areas where you're still holding, anywhere you could soften a little. Backs of your shoulders, arms, hands, your neck, jaw, forehead, eyes, to anywhere that you still can release a little more. Every exhale be a signal to the whole of your being to soften, to let the earth receive you. To rest deeply. Slowly expand your awareness back into the space around you, into your body, into your inhales as they begin to deepen. Into your fingertips. Touch your thumb and forefinger together, giving them a little rub, bringing sensation back into your body. You start to wriggle and move. And stretch and yawn and move however feels good. And when you feel ready, roll over to one side. And take your time to press your way back up to a seated position. Eyes softly closed for a moment longer. Sweep arms out wide, taking a big deep inhale. And exhale, bring it down to your heart center. May you dance and be free. May you always know peace and joy. Namaste. Thank you for practicing.